Hello, everyone. So, a few months ago, I spoke about my TG game concept I had, which I would say I had many other concepts in the past, but this one was, I would say, the best one ever. And all those older concepts really led me to this concept. And as I kept thinking about it, it looks so beautiful in my head, and I love it. Obviously, I don't have the right equipment, even the right skill to work on this. So right now, it's a floating idea. So if you really want to you really want to watch me go through this, I did post a video months ago. You can just scroll through it and find it. But anyways, I love this idea. But I've been thinking about something else. A T-doll collection. So this is physical, unlike this, which is digital. This is physical, and it's going to be a bit interesting. So hear me out. It starts off as stories. Now I have plenty of ideas in which I have like toys, plans, dolls, action figures, and all that stuff. But they have to start out as stories. They have to be told somehow. They need a foundation. And I'm sure this also happened for many different toy lines back in the day. I mean, you would hear of how so many TV shows were created for the sake of selling toys. So I'm doing something similar, but instead I'm just writing stories. And from there, we could really base off like, the dolls out of the stories. And they will be luxurious, which is my way of saying it's not going to be for everyone, obviously. There's a specific audience I'm looking for, and also it's going to be pricey. Don't know how much the price will be, but it's like definitely more than 200, maybe like 600, 700. Adult dolls cost a lot of money, and those are gigantic. But I'm talking about a doll that's, I would say, pretty reasonable. Not tiny, but pretty reasonable size. And every piece is fully articulate. You can bend the toes, you can bend the hands, stuff like that. I think that's really cool. Really good. And of course, it has accessories. There will be specific accessories, and there will be ubiquitous accessories. The specific ones are just going to be suited for the character. So, I'm sure it may fit other dolls, but definitely it will only suit the specific doll it comes with. The accessories come with or are made for. And then you have ubiquitous ones, which you can really swap with all, and it won't be an issue, really. They just suit all the dolls, really, because some dolls will come in different sizes. So that's something I forgot to point out. Diverse range. Because in reality, we do come in different types, different body types, different distributions of fat, if you know what I'm talking about. And also, there will be like removable, like, how some collectible dolls have like removable hands, removable faces, or stuff like that. Like this will also have removable hands for certain poses and even certain other parts, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you'll also have background sets, which I would give you an example of, which is, I would say, those 3D wooden puzzle toys. I'm not sure if anyone has actually had those, but I've seen them when I search for stuff, and I really like them, but they're pretty expensive. And also, I don't have space for them, but you have these gorgeous sets which feature a bunch of accessories, and I would say that it's not like a full house or anything like that. It's just like in this angle, you get sorry, just gotta draw this, not the best, but it's in this angle, so you're not getting the full angle, but it's in that angle, and you have all your accessories placed about, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, but I also have another idea as well. I would say it's a more smaller idea, a bit more bizarre, but we have this one, TG dolls. So this is interesting, and these dolls start out as male, but as you break away the parts, you will unlock the woman within, which is pretty interesting. It reminds me of those toys. which would have like dinosaurs, and then, sorry, those eggs which you soak in water, and then the dinosaurs come out. I had plenty of them growing up. um, it even reminds me of those toys where you have to like, you know, you have to like break. When I was a kid, I had an Egyptian one in which you find a mummy inside. You got to dig to it. I remember it came with a hammer and some kind of, I think, a chisel or something like that. But anyways, it reminds me of that, but a bit more different. It's a bit more different, than this. So you can hammer it, break the parts out. But obviously, I don't want the male parts, to be just destroyed. I want it to be able to, like, you can clasp it back together and you can still use it because you're paying a lot for it. So the males may be a bit more like, I would say, made up of fragments, but you can still piece them up together and reuse them if you want to, or display them, or whatever you do with your dolls. Then it'll also feature transforming accessories, just like how you can break the parts out of the male. You'll be able to break out the parts of certain things, like, for instance, a blue car can break out into a pink car or something like that. Something pretty interesting. So I'm not sure if these all these ideas will ever manifest, but I really want them to. And I'm also afraid of creating them as well. Don't get the wrong idea. I love making this type of content, but at the same time, I'm also afraid of how mainstream the trans stuff has really gotten. Years ago, I grew up with the TG stuff, and the TG stuff may still be a bit more, I would say, still a bit more, I would say, lacking of a mainstream audience, which is good, but the entire trans topic really exploded, and I'm really afraid of that, because now everyone really sees it everywhere. It's not just secluded in these small spaces, it's everywhere. In businesses, large businesses, really, and it's promoted constantly. And it really makes me afraid, because I don't want to contribute to, I would say, people falling down pipelines. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. As I said, I like doing this type of stuff, but I'm also afraid of the pipelines I could lead people into, because so many people these days are having issues with their identity. And obviously, when they have these feelings in them, it's imperative, and they feel like they have to act upon it. And I'm just afraid of that. That's what I'm saying. Like, as I said, I like the trans stuff, but I'm at the same time wary of how mainstream it's gotten, and I'm afraid it could lead to different changes in people, and I'm afraid of that. So okay, so I want it to exist, but guys, it's gonna be a long time to even make it. If I ever get a chance to work on it, it'll be a long time. But still, I want it to exist, especially this doll. This will be fun, really. I keep thinking of, like, really, not like human-sized dolls, obviously, but you could say the size of, I have no idea, but really big enough where you can move it around. And yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching this bizarre video. I know it's weird, but I hope you guys get to enjoy it. Bye.